Thank you, Kyoro. What's going on? As always, we're going to give everybody a little bit to get in here before we continue the story. Just chilling. As always, Exalted, what's going on? How you doing? Probably gonna hop on 14 in a bit. Need to finish ARR and get to Heaven's Ward as fast as possible. Need to catch up with you guys. We are a decent bit out. You're gonna be playing for a bit if you're looking to catch us. I need to get back on 14. I haven't played like 14 like seriously in the past couple days. I've been hanging out in Discord calls a lot. To the point where it's just like play or stream, get off stream, hang out in Discord, and then go to bed pretty early. But yeah, I think a lot of people are catching up to the end of Shadowbringers now, so I at least have a lot of people that I know will be playing at endgame. So at least I know a few people to do Eden Savage with. So there might be some days where we just try to do Eden Savage as opposed to playing some stuff, because I was going to stream the what's the word? Like my initial play of because I haven't gotten through it. I did a little bit of progression for Umbra. Like we got to tiles and then we couldn't complete tiles with the party finder group that I found. But I didn't want to stream with like just me trying to focus. I wanted to have at least some people with me, and there was no way I'm joining Discord with a bunch of random people and streaming that, so that was a no-go. But yeah, I did make a little bit of progress with the group that I was playing with for Eden's Promise Umbra Savage, but I do want to see if the people that is specifically like Goose and Joe. I know James is at the end of the campaign, or he's at endgame too. So I want to see if there's a few people that actually would be interested in checking out that on stream. Be a learning experience. Alright, I think I've given it enough time. So, last time we were here, and I'm gonna gush again, I really think this case is amazing. We did, we finished up Chapter 2's trial as a whole, which I am gonna go on record and say is one of my favorite Ace Attorney cases of all time. Because it not only feels very real, everything feels like it's not exactly like leading you to the direct answer, right? Like, I feel like the logic leaps that you can make are a little bit more refined, right? Like, you don't have the training wheels on when you do that, right? So I feel like the last case was super duper good. I really enjoyed that. But it was the case of the attempted murder of William Shakespeare, who said he was poisoned by strychnine and blamed Soseki Natsume, the author that we helped out in the last game. And we ended up, what's the word? We ended up proving his innocence and overall willful ignorance to everything that was going on, by linking the poisoning of William Shakespeare to the other person that was killed in Soseki's lodgings, Mr. Duncan Ross, who had the unfortunate draw of moving into the lodgings of an ex-convict by the name of Selden, who had apparently left behind a 1,000-pound treasure somewhere. And with that, Shakespeare, being his ex-cellmate released from prison, tried to get into the apartment to find the clues leading to this treasure, but unfortunately for him, Duncan Ross was there, and unfortunately for Duncan Ross, he did not know that Shakespeare would be trying to find this buried treasure, this One Piece, so to speak. So Shakespeare ended up blowing out the gas, or blowing out his light and just allowing gas to seep into his apartment. And with that, it ended up killing him. And his fiance at the time ended up catching wind of this and figuring out, actually, because she had no real idea what happened, but she kind of pieced it together herself. Miss Olive Green found out what might have happened via some rumors about the gas company, and she ended up poisoning the pipe in which William Shakespeare blew into to blow out the light to just allow gas to seep into the room. And poisoning that pipe just allowed Shakespeare to take an unfortunate hit of strychnine that was laced on the pipe. But after we solved that mystery, we did learn that Selden's treasure did in fact exist. And it was what looked like a ruby encrusted dog collar with blood stained on the inside and a bee emblazoned into the front of it. And with that, I believe that is a sufficient wrap up, because immediately after that, Sholmes was telling Iris, and to a bigger extent Naruhodo and Susato, that they could not talk about this case. So hopefully we get a little bit more information as we are moving into episode 3, Return of the Great Departed Soul. Which is going to take place at the Great Exhibition of London, apparently.
The grand end of the century Great Exhibition of London. Surely there is not a soul who has failed to hear of it. Wondrous new works of culture and industry from every corner of the globe had converged on Hyde Park, welcoming over 50 million visitors. The last great hurrah of this century. Astonished and delighted people of all nations, and ended on a note of resounding success. But as regards to the terrible catastrophe that occurred during the festivities, very few are aware my friend Mr. Herlock Sholmes had a hand in unraveling the matter. For from the shadows, it was he who earnestly unearthed the facts of the case. And like the centerpiece of the great exhibition, which rose high into the skies of Hyde Park, Sholmes's brilliant deductions, as clear and lofty as the crystal tower itself, brought the truth to light.
Well, here we go.
We're here at the showground of the Great Exhibition, which is
I guess
absolutely
not.
packed with people. The weather is unusually fine, and we're about to witness a
What's going on, J Smooth, Kev, Ms. Bacon, Juve? How y'all doing? Who the fuck?
Ladies and gentlemen, the 20th century will see steam engines and electrical power dominate the world.
That say William and Turner?
Horse-drawn carts will give way to the motor car. Ships will sprout wings and take to the skies.
Well, he was right.
And today, we showcase even more advanced technology. A glimpse into the future.
So one of these two is getting smoked, right?
A world first. A demonstration of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine.
Instantaneous kinesis machine is dangerous. Bro, that's a whole doomsday device. What the fuck?
By a pulse of high voltage electricity and beamed to another location.
I don't know if I vibe with a man will literally be disassembled by a pulse of high voltage electricity. That is such a dangerous fucking statement.
Whereupon his body will be reassembled by a series of complex calculations exactly as it was before.
Like, people have always talked about, like, oh yeah, teleportation, that would be such a cool thing. But when teleportation gets described as something like disassembling and reassembling your body in different parts, like, or not different parts, in different locations, my brain just goes, no. No. Oh, he's gonna die. That's what it's gonna be. And we're gonna have to, he's gonna be our defendant.
In but a few moments from now, this gentleman will, in the blink of an eye, complete an incredible journey through the air.
Either that, or this is a complete sham, he's got a twin, and he's gonna try it on somebody else, and that other person's gonna die.
To arrive an instant later on the crystal tower behind you.
This guy's on drugs. Yeah, a whole bunch of steam so people won't be able to see. Oh! Something's going wrong. So it does look like it's deforming. Okay. What's going on, Jose? How you doing? Damn. 27. What the Oh, wow. We jumped forward. Holy shit. 22nd of October. 9:36 a.m. Sholmes is sweet. Bruno, are you listening? Oh, sorry. What was that, Iris? What's the matter with you? Been miles away all morning. Didn't you like what I cooked for breakfast? No, that's not it at all. What were we talking about again? Today's paper. It's full of news about the Great Exhibition again. Yeah. The Great Exhibition. I'd like to go sometime. Oh, well, you know, now that I'm thinking about the title of this chapter, The Return of the Great Departed Soul, it's probably, you know, it would be kind of weird for them to do the victim wasn't actually dead, but if they do it twice in a row, I don't know how I'd feel about that, but it would be kind of cool. You're really not your usual self today. You seem very down. Don't you agree, Hurley? Great. Did you say something, Iris? Oh gosh, you're even more down. When did you arrive, Mr. Naruto? I've been here for about half an hour already. We had breakfast together. What? Why didn't you mention it before? I thought you might have known that I was here. You know, because breakfast? Oh, this is quite right. You're clearly lacking in vim. So much so that I didn't notice your presence. Thanks. Of course, I could deduce the reason perfectly well within some simple observations. What? Let's see. Yes, for example, your tousled hair this morning with all its unruly spikes. It's always like this, Sherlock. Clearly, it can be deduced through, therefore, that... let me stop you right there, Mr. Sholmes, because I think I can see where this is going. My hair always looks like this. It always has. Ever since we first met, in fact. Oh, really? How interesting. It just doesn't look like a haircut as such, I suppose. Thanks again. It crossed my mind recently that it's been 6 months now. 6 months? Since I was forbidden for working in court. So I've been wondering how much longer I'm going to be banned.
Oh, well, that would explain why you seem rather glum. Don't you agree, Hurley?
Bro, 6 months. A lot can happen in 6 months. Also, has Susato not come back? What the fuck is Susato doing? Because remember, it was 4 months since the end of the last game, right? So it's been roughly 2 months since Susato got mixed up defending Ray Membami, right? Did you say something, Iris? Runa got banned. Am I missing something? No. Ryunosuke got disbarred essentially for allegedly leaking government secrets and his assistant tampering with a crime scene, right? Which does make sense, you know? I just kind of feel like we've been tampering with crime scenes a little bit more than Susato has. Back to moping. But clearly something is going to happen that's going to involve us getting reinstated. What's the matter with Mr. Sholmes today? He seems even more down in the dumps than me. Oh, it probably means that we're going to meet Strongheart then, right? Because if he's the person that disbarred us, we will meet him again and he'll reinstate us because he believes in us or something. Some shit like that.
I know, and the Great Exhibition is open. You'd think he'd be excited. Oh, why don't we all go see it together?
I want to, of course I do, but I can't. Not for the time being. Why not? Why not? Why not? Because I'm a great detective after all. So you're embroiled in some tricky case that you can't be distracted from. Is that it?
I don't remember hearing that you're working on a case, Hurley.
I suppose I should try to find out what's going on. What's up, Mayor? How you doing? Half a year ago now, I took on the defense of a young girl in a trial heard at the Old Bailey. What at first seemed like a simple case of murder that took place at a London pawnbrokery. And I guess to add on to the shit list of Ryunosuke, he willingly abetted the not guilty verdict of Magnus McGilded, which is kind of weird. You know, defense lawyer doing his job, but his defendant was guilty, right? Like, hey man, I'm literally just doing my job. Turned out to be one part of a much more far-reaching plot that involved the British government. During the course of the trial, it was found that I made an unavoidable, yet at the same time, unforgivable mistake. So it was the judge. Yo, fuck the judge. In the end, I had my right to represent people in court revoked. I was told I had to spend my time in research and study, so that's what I've been doing.
You have, haven't you, Runa? Reading all those big fat tomes about British law up in your room. And the notes about Sholmes' own old cases.
Brewing Iris's special blends of tea, fetching my daily bread for me. You'll become something of a manservant around here. Start on the silverware next, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, I'm thinking of going to ask the powers that be to reconsider. Yeah, specifically Lord Strongheart, at the British Supreme Court on Whitehall.
Lord Strongheart?
Ah, the delightful Lord Chief Justice. Not my favorite fellow. He is not mine either, but he's the man I have to talk to. See, this feels kind of weird, because we just didn't really see Strongheart in the previous game, you know? Like, he was there, like, he existed. We saw him twice, him and his fuck-ass pocket watch. And he really very clearly gave me, like, villain vibes, right? But we just didn't talk to him, right? Like, why would we be considering him not my favorite person, right? He's the only one who can grant permission for me to start working in the courts again. Like, Herlock, sure, right? He might have some, like, previous thing, kind of like with Van Zeeks, but why does Ryunosuke not like him? I came to Britain to become the best lawyer I could. And I can't do that just sitting around here. The whole of London has been swept up in this great exhibition, hasn't it? The most advanced science, the most modern technology, the finest works of arts and features of engineering. For the next 6 months, our capital will be showcasing these things and the world will be watching.
Oh, do you know what I'd like to do? I'd like to look down on London from one of those lovely balloons.
Look down on... Do you mean those things? Fly?
Yes, of course. They fly high in the sky and don't even need wings to do it. All you need is hot air.
This is probably going to be relevant. But how? How does hot air have anything to do with flying? It makes no sense. I can't understand it at all.
That's true of a lot of new scientific discoveries. People can't understand them at first. But in 100 years' time, all these things will be just common knowledge.
I suppose they might be.
Mind you, some of the science being demonstrated seems very questionable. Something went wrong on the open experimentation stage yesterday, apparently. There was a huge explosion. Still, I wish I'd seen it, though. I'd love to see how bad some of these scam experiments really are.
This child is not only a genius, but a psychopath. Says the innocent 10-year-old girl. See here, every page of this paper carries some article or other about the Great Exhibition. But the brighter things shine, the darker the shadows that are cast behind them. Personally, I find myself drawn to the darkness, to the impenetrable. That is my proper atmosphere. Oh, fucking joy. Shadows cast behind? Is that a metaphorical way of referring to the back of the paper? um, so many glowing reports about the Great Exhibition and everything that's going on there. Other than this rather glooming looking one, that is. Wait, what? I guess there we go, like how I was saying fucking Van Zeeks' like teacher or like master or something, Lost Cat. Lord Van Zeeks and compatriot cornered.
What's the matter, Runo?
Okay, now I have to look. Right. Hold on. Fiery ball gown sets dance hall ablaze. An evening of cordial dancing turning to a blazing ball. I speak when one of the lady attendees' dresses accidentally caught fire. In her panic at the sudden appearance of the flames at her feet, the lady dashed about the whole of the French court here's glass eye case. The juge de paix, I have no idea, of Neuilly was presented today with the most curious case of a lady who refused to pay her dues for the purchase of one glass eye. The whole affair began when Madame Pluyette, the defendant, ordered the eye as a replacement for the natural eye she had lost. Upon its arrival, she found that she could see no more with it than she could before and became incensed at the thought of paying for a deficient product. The judge attempted to reason with the madam, but the endeavor proved to be something. Van Zieks looks clean in the hat. The Reaper attacked. That's Lord Van Zieks. This must be what Mr. Sholmes was talking about. Does he know any more, I wonder? But I like reading, like, newspaper articles in things, specifically movies, because, like, other than, like, headlines being, like, fully typed out, a lot of the, what's the word, the, like, actual story, I guess you could say, right? Will just be like some lorem ipsum type shit, right? Also, yeah, Van Zieks with the fucking bowler looks great. Also, is his man's wearing a mask? That's gonna be fucking fun. Well, let's first talk about your gloomy mood. Are you investigating a particularly tricky case at the moment, Mr. Sholmes? You could say that, I suppose. Nothing more to add? That's not like you. What sort of case? Shh. Quiet, Mr. Naruhodo. We must not discuss it here. Never know who might be listening.
Acting very strangely, Hurley.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, usually, the more mysterious and complicated a case is, the better Hurley's mood. Is it really a case that's bothering you?
Iris, please, you mustn't exercise your astute powers of observation and deduction on me without invitation. Remember what I always say, put yourself in the shoes of the individual about whom you're making deductions. You say that, do you? You, Mr. Sholmes. Never mind, once I've had a cup of tea, I must make my way at once to the crime scene. That was a deep sigh. I was gonna make a joke about the mask guy that was just Ron Delight, but it's too late. It looks like we're gonna talk about it at the very least. It says in the paper that Lord Van Zieks was attacked. That's terrible. You know the legend of the Reaper of the Bailey, of course, don't you? Only too well, in fact. Yeah, Prosecutor Baroque Van Zieks. We literally just got done... Oh, okay. They say that the Reaper is the prosecutor in a case. There's no salvation for whoever's in the dock. Even if the defendant is found not guilty. Once the Reaper has someone in his sights, one way or another, that person's time left on this earth will be short. Yeah, but now we know that this was fucking Graydon's doing. We're back in the present, right? We know that this was Graydon. This wasn't Van Zieks. This was Graydon getting revenge. This feels kind of weird. London's finest rogues always find ways around the law. You'll stop at nothing to secure an acquittal at trial. Falsifying evidence, paying sham witnesses, threatening jurors, bribing judges. But even such devious tactics as these cannot save them from the hand of the Reaper. As you've experienced yourself, haven't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah. I've seen the Reaper's retribution at work. Yeah, okay, so, SNR, maybe, I don't obviously want to be spoiled, right? Does this get explained, or are they literally just forgetting the fact that they wrote in, yes, Graydon did this? It was all Graydon, right? Because this is 100% explained away. Right? And like I said, maybe I'm crazy, maybe I'm just misremembering shit, but I remember Ashley Graydon going, yeah, no, he killed my dad, so I made sure that he got his just dues, right? Or not verbatim, but something along that line, right? I remember this. That wasn't Van Zeek's, like, at all. What's going on, SM? How you doing? Many of these criminal rogues are quite reckless and quite unafraid to die. Just keep playing? Yeah, that's what I figured. It's just weird. If a leader among their fraternity is seen to have been taken by the Reaper, retaliation like this does occur. Really, the capital has a never-ending supply of such scoundrels? So, do you mean Lord Van Zeeks has been attacked like this before? This isn't the first time. He's quite an accomplished combatant, you know. He does keep that sword on him. He doesn't take these attacks lying down, although it seems that his assailants were armed with guns this time. Yeah. My goodness. Is he alright then? Is Lord Van Zeeks hurt? My dear fellow, how on earth would I know?
Well, in the article here it says, as to what of Lord Van Zeeks and his condition, all will be revealed in tomorrow's morning edition.
Yeah, I see. Well, we shall have to be patient then. No, I can't wait until tomorrow. In that case, you shall have to inquire with somebody in the know. But who? Strongheart, perhaps. Well, we got a 2-for-1 visit. Oh, you got ready quite fucking quick. Well, I must be leaving now. Yeah, understood. See you later, Mr. Shums. You really are a shameless liar sometimes, my dear fellow. What? You seek to put me off my guard and follow me, don't you? Well, you would be wasting your time. The thought hadn't even crossed my mind, but now I'm wondering where you're going. Well then, see you later indeed. We live here. We live together. What do you... Listen to him. He's still laughing on his way out of the door. Iris costume change?
Right then, Runo, let's get going.
Oh, Iris. What the fuck are you wearing?
I've got changed to go to the Great Exhibition. You're going to take me.
No, we're going to visit Lord Strongheart. What? But I was just about to go to the Supreme Court.
Oh, well that sounds fun too. You're gonna take me there then.
Alright, fine. Just lower that weapon, would you?
Of course. And after the Supreme Court, then we'll go see the Great Exhibition.
Well, time to go see the birds. Caw! 22nd October, British Supreme Court Lord Chief Justice's office. It's been about 6 months now since I was last here. But some things never change. The sense of foreboding I always seem to feel in this place. She's having so much fun. It doesn't seem to be bothering Iris at all, though. She's happily reading over there.
I love this place. I always find so many interesting books here.
Of course. I was forgetting that you've been here before. The time we came here 6 months ago. Oh yeah, we did come here with Iris. When Susato was given the news that she was to return to Japan. I understand you wish to speak with me. Oh, Lord Strongheart. I trust you've been keeping well? Let's see. Since you arrived and requested an audience, it's been 4 hours, 32 minutes, and 26 seconds. I've kept you waiting a while. My apologies. Oh no, not at all. I like nothing more than standing around staring in his face. Good to know. Good to know that he doesn't appear to be bothered at all. Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of London. He's the man who allowed me to start practicing as a defense lawyer when I arrived in Britain as a student. You'd only savor the air for a moment in this grand office to understand his preeminent status. As you will be aware, the Great Exhibition of London is now underway at last. We're extremely busy as a result, policing the grounds, guarding the new technologies, dealing with petty crime. And furthermore, as of next month, we shall open the International Forensic Science Symposium. Oh, I've not heard about that. Investigating authorities from 40 countries around the globe will be taking part, including from your own land. Forensic science is the future. The world must embrace it. As we're the hosting nation, I have much to do, and it is my highest priority. If others must wait for my attention as a result, so be it. Well, it's nice to know where I stand. So, you wish to consult with me? The only villain vibe I get is the birds and Snap. It's the like the imposing, like, his office is essentially in fucking Big Ben, right? The fact that he keeps time of everything, right? Like, he's always checking his pocket watch to determine how late or early he is to be for something, which, you know, can easily be spun as, I always keep time of wherever I'm going, you know, so I always have an airtight alibi, right? Am I wrong for getting somewhat Damon Gant vibes from this guy? I don't think that's necessarily, not apropos, right? I feel it's a little... I see how you get there, right? Like, he is the leader of, not necessarily the police department, right? He's the Lord Chief Justice, right? He has that big, imposing title like Gant does. He seems to be very busy and wrapped up in a lot of things, right? Like, and the fact that his fucking sideburns end in, like, points, right? This guy's, like, if you told me, like, this guy is a villain from Castlevania, I wouldn't say that you were wrong. So, you wish to consult with me? Of course, I can very well imagine what this is about. Oh, well, thank you for agreeing to this meeting, my lord. I want to be allowed to start working as a defense lawyer again in court. That's what brought me here today. But actually, there's something else playing on my mind as it happens.
Uno, just take a deep breath and come out with it.
Well, hey bud. I actually came here today to ask for your permission. Go on. 6 months ago, my right to work as a court... His right to work as a basketball court, that's right. 6 months ago, my right to work in court as a lawyer was revoked, and I was told to spend my time studying. Obviously, I'm very sorry for what happened, but the thing is, it made me understand what it really means to defend somebody under the rules of a foreign justice system. And I desperately want to have another go. Please, permit me to enter the court again. Mr. Norohodo. Yeah? Here it comes. I'm sure you haven't forgotten your position here, have you? At best, you're a substitute for your compatriot. This was never your intended role. Well, that's true. The Japanese government actually sent my best friend on the study tour. Not me. It should have been Kazuma. We were so determined to bring change to our own justice system at home. Bro, They really fucking love doing the Kazuma shit. Headband. Damn it. If that tragic accident hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here in this office now. Mr. Isogi was my best friend, you see. That's why I can't leave it unfinished. I have to fulfill his calling for him. His calling, you say? Has it never occurred to you that perhaps you know nothing of his true calling? Wait, is the reason that his courtroom status was revoked was simply because he's not Kazuma, or because of leaked government secrets? It's a threefold thing as far as I understand, right? A, he bore false witness to Magnus McGilded and got him off the hook. B, he was leaking government secrets in court. And C, his judiciary assistant was tampering with a crime scene, right? That, I think, all culminated in the judge going, yeah, we're gonna get you the fuck out of here, right? What's going on, Equinox? How you doing? Perhaps you know nothing of his true calling. Sorry? The mission with which that young law student was charged. What do you suppose it really was? What do you mean? Mission? He's not making any sense. Never mind. I've read all the reports you've submitted over the past 6 months. It's clear to me that you regret your actions and have been studying studiously, obeying your revised instructions. Do you mean? As of this moment, I reinstate your license to practice law here in Great Britain. Thank you, Strongheart! Yeah! Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go! Now, if this is to take a fall later down the line, we won't have any choice but to say thank you, Strongheart, for right now, but thank you, Strongheart! Woo! Thank you! Thank you so much!
It's wonderful news, Bruno.
In fact, I believe I have the perfect case to mark your comeback. A curious affair. You'll consider it, I hope?
Of course! Please, tell me more. Let's fucking go!
You described it as a curious affair? Yes, that's right. I believe it was reported in the press. Are you aware there was a serious accident at the Great Exhibition yesterday?
Oh,
no.
Yes, I read about it. A professor from Germany tried to carry out a crazy experiment. Let me see, how is it described? Super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, I think.
What's going on, Vampy? How you doing? Instantaneous kinesis? As in, moving things with a click of the fingers?
That's right. It's just what my herbal blend needs. A dash of devil may care.
Whatever this serious accident was exactly, it's clearly captured Iris's imagination. It's an unfortunate business. A large explosion engulfed the public experimentation stage and a man lost his life. Asserted Mr. Odie Asman. What would that be, right? Odie Asman? Odiasman? I can't get anything from that. An investor and well-known figure in society. A large explosion?
Man died?
The man responsible for the experiment was Professor Albert Harebrain. Ah, well, Harebrain, right? Harebrained. That one makes sense. He was detained immediately after the incident and is due to appear in court tomorrow. On the charge of murder.
What? Murder?
If you intend to take on his defense, you should hurry to meet with him at the prison. There is very little time left for you to carry out any kind of investigation.
A great exhibition.
Scientific experiment gone wrong. And murder? I feel out of my depth before I've even started. Still.
We should go to the prison straight away then, and try to meet with this German professor. Don't you think?
Definitely. Oh, yes. More thing about the case. There's a connection with our mutual acquaintance, the Reaper.
Oh! With Lord Van Zeeks? How?
We'll ask that, and we'll present the paper to him in just a second. All sorts of conferences have been taking place around the world to coincide with the Great Exhibition. Next month, the largest and most important of them will take place at last. The International Forensic Science Symposium.
Odious Man is Odious Man? Odious Man? Okay. Odious Man? Yeah, Odious Man, I guess.
That one's not as obvious.
Are we just saying that he smells?
Yeah, whatever.
It does seem as though criminal investigation needs to embrace scientific methods, doesn't it?
Exactly. London, the global epicenter of culture, science, and wealth, now has a population exceeding 6 million. Sadly, crime in the capital is growing at a similarly startling rate. So it's imperative that we use the latest scientific methods to investigate and resolve cases as efficiently as possible.
Which is what's known as forensic science, isn't it?
Exactly. The future of policing. Regrettably, however, Britain is currently dragging its feet when it comes to the adoption of forensic methods.
Oh dear. That's alarming.
Exactly. It's extremely alarming. If I were Her Majesty's Attorney General, you can be sure the numbers of crimes committed and resolved in London would be very different to the current figures. And I can cite 12 solid arguments and 223 individual reasons to support my claim.
Sorry?
By way of apology for keeping you waiting earlier, I shall detail every one now.
What? Oh, how fascinating.
It all began 15 years ago. I was... That, or more or less, sums up my feelings on the matter. In the simplest terms, of course. Essentially, to formally establish a forensic investigation division within Scotland Yard. That is my mission.
Oh, right. Yes, that's, wonderful.
Exactly. Wonderful is precisely what it will be.
Iris isn't paying attention at all. She's got her nose in another book now. Oh, is it over? Did you learn anything useful? I actually drifted off for the most part. He's surprisingly ardent about forensic science. Well, hey bud, speaking of the Reaper, and why we should not fear him... Oh, that reminds me. Have you seen this? Please just say it's a newspaper.
The reports of the overwhelming success of the Great Exhibition? Of course.
No, not that. The story on the back page.
What story?
Oh, we can read more now.
London's top prosecutor Baroque Van Zeek's life came under threat yet again as a group of heavily armed assailants brandishing large knives and pistols ambushed him last night. The sight of the Reaper of the Bailey and his companion valiantly keeping the mob of blackguards at bay was captured by this reporter, who then rushed straight away to the police to report this most heinous of crimes. As host of the Great Exhibition, the City of London can ill afford to have such brutal acts of violence occurring in the streets, and the Lord Chief Justice's office is sure to have a response to this latest incident. Asked Lord Van Zeeks and his... Yeah, we got that. We couldn't read it last time because fucking Ryunosuke's portrait was here. Also, shout out both of them drawing swords like this. Dog, if I get back-to-back in a fight with somebody and we both draw our weapon the same way, everybody else just better leave, right? Everybody better just get the fuck on out of there. If I'm gonna jump a nigga and he and his friend go back-to-back and start brandishing sabers like this, yeah, I'm getting out of there. Bye. They clearly know something I don't. Also, who is this reporter? How'd you get a shot like this? You've enjoyed some victories in court against my #1 prosecutor, have you not?
Poor Mr. Reaper. What happened to him? Wasn't killed, was he?
There's no need for concern. Lord Van Zeeks would not be so easily dispatched, I assure you. Can you tell us what happened? I'd really love to know. Very well. If it interests you. It does. Strangely. Yeah, I'm asking about it. Does it interest you? No, I brought it up completely out of the blue because I have no interest in it. Fucking dickhead. Fortunately, Lord Van Zeeks emerged from the attack unscathed. Street ruffians are no match for that man. He's a very capable fighter. But that's incredible. They were armed with guns. Why was he attacked, though? Do we know? Yeah, they're armed with guns without fucking bores, so the bullets are going at, like, fucking weird-ass angles. They probably shot each other. Thinking about it, in close range like that, so one of them probably shot another one, like, of the attackers. It's related to events that occurred a month ago. Leader of one of the capital's criminal organizations was indicted and prosecuted by Van Zeeks. But the man was acquitted. I have no doubt large sums of money were involved behind the scenes. Large sums of money? A deplorable situation. Members of the jury were bribed, it seems. However, despite winning his freedom, the man in question met a dramatic end yesterday. But you're not suggesting that was the work of the Reaper, surely? The victim's henchmen certainly seem to think so. He was a man by the name of Asman, Mr. Odie Asman. Okay. Well... Shit. Did you say Asman?
That's the man who died in the big explosion at the Great Exhibition.
Yes, known publicly as an investor, but in reality, he had the head of a significant criminal organization.
Believable.
I wonder, could I ask you something, Lord Strongheart? Try me. Why do you use Lord Van Zeeks as a prosecutor? All the criminals who manage to get off in court then meet with mysterious ends outside the courtroom. And fearful of that fate, they seek to strike at Lord Van Zeeks first. I know there's no evidence that he actually is the Reaper in that sense, but still, something's clearly going on here. I have Van Zeeks work for the prosecution service for 2 reasons. Firstly, the man is the best prosecutor in the capital, bar none. And secondly, any deaths of criminals that have occurred outside the courtroom following his trials are nothing to do with him. But that doesn't make any sense. How do you explain the way so many have died if it's not by someone's hand? Van Zieks may have earned himself the moniker of the Reaper, but he is no killer. So he will continue to prosecute on behalf of the crowd. Unless he wishes otherwise, of course. Must be leaving for my next engagement. Time? I'm already 11 hours and 16 minutes late. My colleagues may be starting to fidget. 11 hours late? That's, quite something. The meeting had already started when I arrived back here for this engagement with you. So lateness was inevitable. Time stops for no man. I'm sure it stopped for me during those 12 solid arguments and 223 reasons. Oh, yeah. Where would I find Lord Van Zieks now? I would assume he's at his office. Right. I'll go and ask him about the attack in person. I want to get this straight from the horse's mouth. Away with you now. I'm leaving Professor Harebrain's defense entirely in your hands. Of course. Yes. Thank you very much, my lord. He's gone. Iris? Oh, no. I thought Iris was going to have something to say. Well. Oh, fuck yeah, bud. Nice chess set. Oh, fucking bottles of... Yo, okay, at least they know, right? At least they know. And it was very clearly, like, something that they wanted to make known. Right? That's pretty cool. 22nd of October, prosecutor's office.
Ooh, so this is the legendary Reaper's office.
Yeah, it appears so.
Sends a chill down your spine, doesn't it? What an amazingly deathly atmosphere.
Oh, is that... That hooded figure was so still. I hadn't noticed his or her presence. Wonder who it is. What are you doing here? Okay, I had a feeling. I was like, there's no way it's the fucking hooded figure asking, right? He's as unwelcoming as I thought he'd be. Actually, maybe even more so. Oh, I'm glad to see you're so well. I am. So, who's the person over on by the wall being punished for something or other? No punishment is taking place here. Oh. It's my apprentice. Me sitting there of his own free will. I didn't know you had an apprentice. Must be the same person who was pictured in the newspaper. He's very able in combat. Requisite skill for anyone under my tutelage. Are you referring to the attack on the Reaper that was reported in the papers? The Reaper? I'd be interested to know the Reaper's true identity myself. Assuming that he's such a fabled fiend genuinely inhabits our great courtrooms. So he just doesn't know that that's what people are referring to him? Lord Strongheart said that the assault last night was some sort of revenge attack. True. Carried out by henchmen of Odie Osmond's criminal organization. The investigation meant their arrests were imminent. Presumably some hoped to kill me before that happened. Odie Osmond. He's always masqueraded as one of London's most powerful financiers. A global investor. But his enormous wealth came to him by an underhand means via his criminal activities.
And he used that money to buy himself a verdict of not guilty when he found himself in court, didn't he? Being prosecuted by you, Mr. Reaper.
But the man got his comeuppance in the end. Yesterday, in fact, in extraordinary circumstances. It was a most unusual cause of death. I know about that. It was super high voltage instantaneous kinesis gone wrong. Mr. Asman died when the demonstration on the public experimentation stage ended in an enormous explosion. Correct. Do you think I have some kind of divine ability to cause an accident like that to happen, do you? Well, no. That does seem a little bit far-fetched. If this man really is the fabled Reaper, then he has to be innocent of this particular death at least.
It's strange how this has worked out, isn't it, Runo? I mean, what with you taking on the professor's defense for the trial tomorrow?
What? You're going to be defending him?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Though I barely know the man's name yet, to be honest. Albert Hairbrain.
Oh, that's right. Do you know him by any chance?
Of course. He's a contemporary of mine. We were at university together.
You're... what?
Well, I understood that Professor Hairbrain was from Germany, though. Hairbrain's from a respectable British family. After graduating from the University of London, he moved to Germany to carry out research. That's all.
So you were students together?
I was in the Faculty of Law, of course, and he in Science. So our paths rarely crossed. But curiously, we got along. Though I've not met him since my university days. Certainly didn't expect our next encounter to take this form. With you, of all people, representing him. If only I make it out of this office alive.
He's actually been charged with murder, it seems.
Yes, I know. Because the prosecution will be handled by me.
By you? But you made it sound as if you and the professor had been friends.
We are friends, it's true.
Then why would you do this? If the Reaper is the prosecutor, there's nothing anyone can do to save him. He's doomed. What's Lord Van Zeek's thinking? What do you mean by what you said before? If you'd like to know the Reaper's true identity, does that mean...
The Crown Prosecutor, an immortal enemy, an immortal like any other. No demigod.
But they've all died, haven't they? The people you've prosecuted, I mean. Whether or not the trial ended in a conviction or an acquittal.
Those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. The world is a better place without them.
But what about all the people that weren't guilty? Yeah, you forgetting that little fucking 4-0 stint that I clapped your ass on? Yeah, what about that? Well, I mean, technically, 3-0? With 3-0? With not guilty verdicts against you? McGilded kind of got smoked, like quite literally, but... What about that, huh? All of them were guilty and they deserve to die, huh? What about that? That's not true of Mr. Natsume, for example. He wasn't a vile wretch at all. Oh, please don't get super racist. He's not talking about our cases? Right, but he just said, quite literally, plainly, those I prosecute are the vilest wretches of our society. People who without question deserve to be found guilty. Right? He's just talking about people that he prosecuted. And we're exactly saying what I'm saying right now, not Natsume or Ginny, right? In fact, she's ever so hardworking now. Speaking of, is she still in prison? Odie Asman got off innocent despite prosecuting that case. Yeah, right?
he got off innocent, but then he died, and I have a feeling that Odie has been right. He's a criminal fucking, he's a mob lord, right? He's very clearly a vile person, right? But what about Natsume? What about Ginny? McGilded? Yeah, you got that, right? Can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn. But the point is this. If any of those vile wretches that escaped justice subsequently died in mysterious circumstances, it was at the hand of their own kind. It's not my work. Lord Strongheart said the same. He believes you're not involved in any way. And I guess that makes sense, right? For what he's saying, right? Like, and this kind of ties it all up, like, perfectly, right? Like, I can't deny that since I encountered you, things have taken a turn, right? Like, he didn't consider that, right? He made this statement, like, yeah, man, everybody that I prosecute is a piece of shit. And Ryunosuke and Iris were like, hey, what about these two people? And he was like, you know what? You got that. You're right. You know? So, yeah, right? Like, and if anybody else dies, it's because they're fucking pieces of shit, right? And that's true with McGilded. McGilded was a massive piece of shit. And he got put in a pack and quite literally smoked up, right? So yeah, I feel like this played out very well. This like dialogue sequence, right? Because Van Zieks is very clearly in his head. He's like, yeah, everybody that I prosecute, it's because it's clear as day that they're guilty. It's clear as day that they're like just total scumbags, right? And if they happen to die, it's because they're scumbags. So that this also explains why after Natsume was let off the hook, so this actually provides a lot of context, and specifically for the like not even retrial, but the second trial of Natsume after his first innocent verdict, right? Because Van Zieks was like, yeah, man, I prosecuted against McGilded. McGilded was clearly guilty, but he got off the hook and he died, right? Oh, Natsume got off the hook? There's no way he's being accused of another attempted murder. He's clearly not innocent, right? He's clearly guilty, right? And then it turns out that he wasn't guilty at all. And so now I feel like this is a good little bit of character growth for Van Zieks, right? He's like, yeah, you know what? Maybe not everybody I take a case against is a piece of shit. Specifically the people that you're defending. Everybody else fucking sucks. But you're okay. If you show him your armband, you get some nice dialogue. Oh, is he gonna be like, yeah, are you still fucking banned? Can you come back?
But you were attacked by those ruffians because they believe it's true.
The fact is, since people started to call me the Reaper of the Bailey, the number of serious crimes in the capital has dropped substantially.
Oh.
It would appear that even the most hardened criminals can be made fearful for their lives. Do you mean to say... I mean to say that if my pseudonym serves a useful purpose, I adopt it gladly and with honor.
But it's putting you in danger. You could be killed.
If that is my fate, let God decide. Lord Van Zieks.
Well, first things first.
Because I don't give a fuck about my armband right now. Oh, I was about to say, can I not turn? Hey, bud. Really looks like a punishment to me.
Never seen someone sitting like that before.
Hasn't moved a muscle since we arrived. I think perhaps he's dead.
If he was dead, Bruno, he wouldn't be sitting up, would he?
Well, anyway, dead or alive, he's not overly approachable, is he? I don't think he's going to talk to us.
He's not dead.
Well, fuck. He's got a recreation of the Great Exhibition here. He's literally using Playmobil to figure out the fucking crime scene. What a guy.
Ooh, look, it's a scale model of the Great Exhibition showground.
It's amazing. I wonder why it's here.
Perhaps he made it to take his mind off the sadness of being too busy to attend in person.
Or perhaps he's too embarrassed to queue up for a ticket. Surely it's obvious that I'm using it as an investigative aid. Ah! Nipponese have no business painting others as overly reserved. Really didn't think he'd overhear that. That portrait really dominates the room, doesn't it? Woo! He looking fresh. Hold on. Yo. Yo, he is like... Woo! I need a painting like this. I would have... If I ever, like, hit the lottery or have a vast wealth of money, I want a picture like this, painted in, like, fucking... an exuberant size, right? And put up in my living room. I need something like this. This to me emanates big dick energy. It's a very majestic outfit in pose. But sadly, whoever painted it didn't do a very good job of capturing Lord Van Zeek's facial features. Who is it then?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not far off, but the artist has exaggerated his subject's handsomeness, I think.
That reminds me. I heard Emperor Napoleon of France ordered artists to make him look more attractive when they painted him.
Bane, that's really not an attractive quality in a person, is it?
The portrait does not depict me. Surely that's immediately obvious. Then who is it? Is it your apprentice? Ooh. I was gonna say, because they're like he's wearing, like, you can't see any of his skin, right? And even in the newspaper article, right? Like, you can't really make out anything else, right? Like, you can see the lower half of his face. He's got like a somewhat pronounced jawline, right? But that's it. Doug, are you like training your fucking clone? That would be fucking sick. Alright. Fuck, I didn't even click on that. Look at that fine collection of hallowed chalices and bottles neatly lined up there. My hallowed bottles are filled with the essence of finest grapes from the finest vineyards I visit. And I personally oversee that these chalices are being made by the finest crystal craftsmen in the world.
And yet you throw them around in court like they were worthless.
Yes, because this imbecile is so unimaginably and repeatedly wide of the mark sometimes. Oh, that's me! Before you open your mouth next time, you should consider the poor artisans whose work you defile. So, it's my fault. Silly me. How could I have ever thought otherwise? You be playing chess? What Van Zeek's desk? Look. It's so stylish.
And that's a marble chess set besides it.
Chess. That's the Western version of our Japanese shogi game, isn't it? You know, I'm actually quite good at shogi problems.
Oh, really? You probably like chess problems then in that case.
I'd love to challenge Lord Van Zeek sometimes. To a bout of shogi problems.
If you only really want to challenge yourself, you can always do that at your own home.
So that's about it then? I guess I can present him my my armband. Also, hey! Ah! They were bats!
Yeah, the Reaper's familiars, I expect.
But what about the mute man in the dark cloak? I thought he was the familiar. Just not the flying kind.
Must be a dear friend of Mr. Reaper, then.
Dear friend indeed, huh? I think the familiar idea is more likely. Scary, though, either way. There's just a lot of wine. Look at all those ancient casks lining the wall there.
Casks in the Reaper's chamber. Are they caskets?
You don't think all those people who escaped conviction in court are lying inside them dead, do you? What ridiculous notions are going through your head, man? This is my collection of fine vintages. Oh, yeah, of course. Thank you for clearing that up.
Rue and I were just musing to ourselves. Don't mind us, Mr. Reaper.
I wouldn't if you hadn't invited yourselves into my office to talk nonsense within my earshot. Like, it's very clear that a narrative's being driven here, but for Ryunosuke to go, oh no, he's the Reaper, it's like, bro, come on, you know that's not true. Gramophone. Alright, back. Yo, I'm back. I'm back. I know you've seen this around my arm before, but what is it exactly? It's the mark of a defense lawyer. Well, in Japan at least. What's your reason for showing it to a British prosecutor? Oh! Well, I don't know, really. I can understand at least. There's merit in reminding yourself of who helped you become what you are today. Oh. But that's a personal matter. Something you may want to keep close at all times, not something to flaunt. No, I suppose not. Thank you for understanding, though. Okay, that was just almost nothing. Well, let's go ahead and go visit our defendant. Scientist man. Scientist man. 22nd October, local prison, cell 11. The warden said cell 11. It's this one.
Oh, there's someone curled up in a ball in the back corner. Look.
What's his name again? Professor Albert Hairbrain, wasn't it? Excuse me, Professor Hairbrain.
Bitch, put the book down.
Who are you? I'm Ryunosuke Naruhodo, a defense lawyer. A lawyer? Was it something I said? A lawyer, you say? Would you be here about the experiment? Are you going to defend my hypothesis? Your hypothesis? Sorry, I don't... Yesterday's demonstration! That demonstration was... That magnificent demonstration was... It was an out-and-out success by anyone's calculations. But despite that, no one listens. No lawyer believes in the science. When it's explained, they all leave at high velocity. Now it's probably not a good time to mention that your zeal made my concentration leave for a while, too. Hey, idiot. You mentioned the demonstration yesterday.
The papers have called it a spectacular failure. After all, a man died in the explosion, didn't he?
Yes, you could interpret the results that way if you wanted to. Well, I suppose in the strictest sense. The experiment was a failure, but at the same time, it was a great success. You lost me. I saw it with my own eyes, right there in front of me. Mr. Asman was spontaneously disassembled. Until then, everything was going exactly as my calculations had predicted. At that point, it should have been beamed to the Crystal Tower by instantaneous kinesis. However, the machine exploded and Mr. Asman in fact perished. Yes, I can't deny that part of the experiment was a failure. So what you're really saying is the large explosion that killed Mr. Asman was an accident, correct?
The bigwigs had you arrested on suspicion of murder.
I was responsible for a man's death. That is the immutable truth here. And for that I wish to be punished. At once. But... murder? Not even in a million years! It was an accident. Simply an accident! I see.
Riley and I were talking this morning, you know. He said the situation would change completely depending on whether it was treated as an accident or murder.
How exactly?
Well, if it really was an accident, then the professor's machine would be kept in protective custody.
On what grounds?
Ah, yes, it's newly established here in Britain. The Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
I thought it was gonna be a fucking fun acronym, but it's the SDC. Got one passing me by.
But if the case is treated as murder, then they'll say
my machine was the murder weapon, and they'll be able to pour over it as much as they'd like. If they examine it in detail, they'll find out how it's made, and then they'll be able to copy my idea. My precious hypothesis will be stolen. The machine must be protected from that at all costs. That's why it's imperative that this whole incident is shown to have been an accident in tomorrow's trial. Ah, I see now. So tell us about this instantaneous kinesis. So in short, there was a terrible accident at the Great Exhibition Showground yesterday. Yes! Or rather, no. The devil is in the details. Strictly speaking, there was a terrible explosion. Sounds the same to me.
You were demonstrating super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, weren't you? How fascinating.
Humans, like all matter, are made up of particles that are held together by electrical bonds. So it must be possible using a sufficiently high voltage to break those bonds and beam the particles through space. That's it in a nutshell. My idea, you see? That's my amazing hypothesis. That's unimaginably high-level science. Oh, but dare to imagine it! Dare to dream of such incredible technology! Just think, one moment I could be here in this cell, and the next I could be at the Great Exhibition again. Well, yeah, that would be incredible. And the next, in the mere blink of an eye, I could be at the Great Partisan Theater. The possibilities are endless. The whole of our vast planet would be within reach. So no more hiding in wardrobes on rocky seas for 50 days.
I don't really see it like that.
What do you mean, Iris?
Well, if you could travel anywhere in the world instantly, the planet wouldn't really seem vast anymore, would it? I think it would feel more like it had shrunk.
My word! That's exactly right! What are the implications? What does this mean?
Oops. That got Professor Bunny Brain really worried by the look of it.
Clearly this is just yet another case of just because you can doesn't mean you should, I suppose. The point is, my calculations are flawless. The science works, but without a practical demonstration it means nothing. And that's what's always that's always the fly in the ointment.
Because practical demonstrations cost a lot of money. Money that young scientists like you don't have.
That's exactly it, yes.
Riley's always complaining about it. He says the government should invest more in science.
Well, anyway, I bumped into him at the right time. I met the well-known investor, Mr. Asman. The victim who died in yesterday's terrible accident, you mean? The full name of the man who died in yesterday's accident was Mr. Odie Asman, right? What exactly was your relationship with the man? He first visited me in my laboratory in Germany a year ago now. He said he wanted to invest in my immaculate hypothesis. I thank my lucky stars. I see. So, You hadn't really known each other until then.
Money for scientific research? I'm so envious.
As far as I was concerned, the man was an angel. Oh, really? An archangel, even. He was prepared to fund a practical demonstration of my hypothesis for presentation at the Great Exhibition. And if that went well, I could expect additional financial support for my research from the British government. Mr. Asmund provided me with money and an exceptional engineer. He produced a machine to my precise specifications.
But then your dreams were blown to dust in one enormous explosion.
As you can see, I owed everything to Mr. Asmund. I would never, ever have thought of taking the man's life. Well, he seems genuine enough. I don't think he's lying. Do I don't really have anything to present to him. I just haven't asked him to defend him yet. Unless I present my armband to him and say, hey, I'm gonna defend you. Nope. Oh, okay. In Japan, where I come from, it's the symbol of a defense lawyer. Wearing it is very bracing, I find. Your words make some sense to me, but they are entirely illogical. What do you mean? Well, for example, I find this white laboratory coat that I wear for my work very bracing too. However, in my case, there is a perfectly logical reason for my feeling. Oh, really? What is it? I purchased the wrong size by mistake. This one is too small for me. The sleeves especially are extremely bracing. I can barely move my wrists. That's what you call logical, is it? Of course, it's entirely logical. That's science, Mr. Norohodo. Okay, so... no. Did I not... He's just fucking standing there, menacingly. Fuck. Lord Van Zeeks, about the article in this paper. Ah, yes. It seems there was a reporter nearby when that little skirmish took place. Okay. I had no idea I'd been photographed. It was careless of me.
It looks as though it was taken after the people who attacked you had run away, though.
Oh, they were putting their weapons away. Damn, okay. Rest assured, the police have already apprehended every last one of them. But there's someone else fighting alongside you, it seems. And I think it's the same man who's sitting over there as we speak, isn't it? As I mentioned already, he's my apprentice. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about him. There we go. He's in my tutelage to become a prosecutor. So you could say he's my apprentice, I suppose.
Ah, like you were at a Hurley then, Runo.
I don't remember taking an apprenticeship with a great detective. He's currently compiling a report about last night's attack. It looks like he's wearing some kind of mask. Lord Strongheart's orders. Nobody knows the man's face, or indeed his identity. But why would you agree to take on such a clearly suspicious individual? Lord Strongheart's orders, again. He's not one for meaningless follies. There will be a good reason for his actions. I hope you're right. Oh. Hey, bud. Ah. The task is complete. Or the task is complete. Good. In that case, you can collect all the briefs. Nice to meet you. Back to work again. It's really strange, though. Never met the man before. Didn't even know he existed. Yet, somehow it didn't feel like our first encounter. Don't bother trying to converse with him. He says nothing to anybody from outside this office. Lord Strongheart has strictly forbidden it. Oh, I see. Why are you so interested in my apprentice anyway? Oh no, I mean... Sorry, I didn't mean to. The way he stood there so casually, and with that flawless posture. It couldn't be. I just had a really fucking stupid thought. I'm gonna save it for right now, but all I'm going to say is that is not, the apprentice is not the man pictured here. I had a very fucking stupid thought go through my head, and holy fucking shit, this game's gonna be real dumb. Or if it goes in that direction, it's gonna be real fucking dumb. Yes. There's something I've been meaning to ask you. Oh, what's that? The Nipponese man. Is he faring well? Sorry? The one arrested twice in succession 6 months ago. The stoop, the mustache, and the jitters. Ah, Mr. Natsume, you mean?
I'm not sure he'd be very pleased to find out you identified him from that list, Runo.
He's fine, thank you. In fact, I received a letter from him by international post only the other day. I see.
Because when he was standing, or when the apprentice was standing side by side next to Van Zieks, I was like, man, they don't have the same skin tone or jawline at all. So they're not related. And he's training other Van Zieks by Lord Strongheart's orders? That's kind of suspicious.
I think we can end the discussion there, don't you? There's little time left before tomorrow's trial. I advise you to spend it investigating the case.
Yeah, thank you for the advice. And for the conversation.
Can't believe he's asking after Soseki. After a Nipponese. Not sure whether to feel happy about that or worried.
Never imagined that Mr. Reaper would be friends with a mad scientist, did you? That's a turn up for the books.
Mad scientist? Ah, you mean Professor Hairbrain. Yeah, it might be worth quizzing the professor about his relationship with Lord Van Zieks, I think. Alright. Guess I just didn't get everything. There we go. I understand that Lord Van Zieks is a friend of yours from your university days. Yes, that's right. He was studying law whilst I was studying science. What was he like back then? A good question. Unassuming, gentlemanly, and all-around nice fellow, really. Sorry, I think you misheard me. I'm talking about the cold-hearted, merciless prosecutor Baroque Van Zieks. What was he like when he was at university?
Talk about a leading question, Runo.
As I said, unassuming and extremely pleasant gentleman. After all, he is the little darling of the Van Zieks family with all of its great aristocratic origins.
I didn't realize he had quite such noble blood.
Little darling?
I
it was a bit of a shock when I came back to Britain and learned what he'd become. The Reaper of the Bailey, no less. Yeah, that's right. I did hear, though, that there was a very big event in his life that completely changed him after the graduation. Really? What sort of event? Ah! I'm sorry, but I don't know anymore. I wasn't in the country at the time. I was in Germany already. Oh. Yeah, of course. If he's heard all about the Reaper, you don't have the heart to tell him that Lord Van Zeeks will be the prosecutor in court tomorrow. Is this guy's last name Scheme? No, his last name is Hairbrain. His first name is Albert. So, Professor, let me make absolutely sure I've understood you properly. A huge explosion that occurred yesterday. That was an accident, you're saying. You had no intent to harm the victim, who was in fact the sole investor in your work. Is that correct? As correct as 2 squared is 4, I swear it! Yes, it's true that the man perished in a machine of my invention, so I know that I'm far from blameless in all this, but still, I would never use my discoveries, my inventions to take a person's life. Not in a centillion years. I'm a man of science, it's all I know. You have to believe me, please! Do you believe me? Do you believe in my hypothesis? Science is the pursuit of truth, you know. I've always believed that, all my life. Afraid I don't know much about science, or your theories. But I do believe you, and I will fight to prove your innocence with all my might. I'm a man of the law. It's all I know. You have to believe me, please. When I went to live in Germany after I graduated, I learned something very important. Nationality, class, lineage, none of that matters. As long as you try your hardest, you can achieve anything. Thank you for that, Professor. And thank you in advance for defending me tomorrow in court.
Right, Runo? It's time. Time to visit the Great Exhibition.
Sorry?
Well, that's where the incident happened, isn't it?
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Time to investigate it last. Alright, so... is Gregson gonna be there? Surely not, right? "22nd of October, the Great Exhibition, grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower." Ugh. Showgrounds are a little too big for my liking. We've been walking around in the dense crowds for 2 hours now, and I felt myself swooning 3 times.
There are a lot of people, aren't there? I've almost been trodden on 3 times, too.
Be careful, won't you, Iris? Don't let go of my hand. We finally made it through the throngs, though, by the look of it. Here we are underneath the public experimentation stage where the explosion happened yesterday. We're getting shot? What's going on here? What's that? I can hear voices from up on the stage. It sounds like an argument. Hey! What's going on there? Right, I've had it with you. I'm warning you, I'll arrest you in a minute.
Oh yeah? Go on, Inspector, give it a shot. You ain't got no evidence and you know it.
Wait, I know those voices. Got a cheeky little mouth on you, young lady. But a night in the cells will teach you some manners.
Just try it, I dare ya. If you want that bag of chips round down your throat. Yoo-hoo! Gregsy, what are you doing up there?
It's you, here, you're here. There you are, you, here, your ladyship. How are you, your ladyship? I hope you're I do hope you're well, your ladyship. Does it make her 3 times a lady?
I'm not well at all. It's far too busy everywhere. I wanted to ride in a balloon, but there was a 3-hour queue.
Unbelievable. I'll go and have a word for you at once, your ladyship. You'll be flying as high as a kite in no time once I pull some strings for you. Tobias Gregson, Inspector at Scotland Yard. Until recently, he was suspended from duty, but it would appear he's back in action now. Well, okay then. Answers my question. He's actually quite well known, appearing as he does in the Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. And for that reason, he can't say a word wrong to the story's author, Iris. But there are limits, surely. Or there should be. Watch it, sunshine. Sorry? Dad? What gives then? Don't tell me you're on this case. Yeah, I'm acting for the defense.
So we're here to investigate.
Dear me, that's the situation, is it? Is it really that troubling?
Measly 5 bob? Is that all you got? You're a lawyer, ain't you? Could stand to carry a bit more copper in your pocket, Mr. Otto.
It's... How did you get out of prison? Hey, that's the last bit of my spending money, that is.
You can have it back, but I'll have to charge you for all the bother. 3 bob.
This is Gina Lestrade, pickpocket or diver, born and bred in the East End of London. The case that led to my own suspension 6 months ago. This is the young girl I was defending in court.
What's your problem, eh, Otto? Diver? Pickpocket? What's with all the name calling? You want a bag of chips round down your throat and all, do you?
I thought you were proud to be a diver, Gina. You were just arguing with Inspector Gregson about it, weren't you? I assume you've been up to your usual tricks here at the showground.
Ain't no way to talk to a lady, Otto. Half a year's a long time. People can change. I'm an apprentice now, learning to be a Scotland Yard detective.
Hey! There we go. Fantastic. Is it literally fucking Gregson and Gina just running around? That's pretty funny.
You call me what everyone else does. It's Inspector Lestrade now.
Inspector. That badge is homemade, surely. The Inspector part isn't entirely accurate. No one calls her that. For what it's worth, anyway, investigating off the cards is for all of us.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right, well, I'll be back up top. You hold the fort down here, all right? Right, sir. This raises a lot of questions. So what the fuck happened? Let's talk. It was 8 months ago now that I first encountered Gina, in connection with a case I was working on. At the time, she was living in the East End with a group of other orphans. She helped all of them survive by pickpocketing, but then she got embroiled in a murder.
Quite a lot of time to think in prison. Realized that I couldn't go on like I was. Diving weren't working out. I'm so pleased to hear it, Ginny. Well done.
So, you went from being a pickpocket to a detective.
Got it? Good, innit? Inspector Lestrade. Sounds like something out of a book, eh?
Ah, ha 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 ha, very tongue-in-cheek. Talk about a sea change.
There's Iris's old man to think about.
Iris's father, you mean?
Yeah, I promised her, didn't I? I said I'd get all the police forces around the world to pull out all the stops looking for him.
Just a small promise, then. Nothing serious.
Ginny, you're so sweet. So anyway, that's That's how come I had to go at the test for Scotland Yard. Only trouble is, I don't read so well, do I?
Just a small problem. Nothing serious.
So when Hurley approached Gregsy and asked for help, but the inspector said he'd take full responsibility for Ginny and made her a sort of apprentice.
It was very magnanimous of Inspector Gregson. And brave.
Well, you know Hurley. He finds ways to make people do what he wants.
Great detective likes digging for dirt, in other words.
So the long and short of it is, if you got questions about the case, you can ask Inspector Lestrade.
Right then, Inspector. Actually, there's still a big mystery surrounding Gina, isn't there?
Ooh, what, Runo? What?
Well, 6 months ago, Gina was the defendant in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper. A trial in which she was found not guilty. And yet, here she is still.
Come on, you're not still on about that, are you? Legend of the Reaper, or whatever it's called. Cool, you don't have to worry, Hoddo.
If I didn't half worry, there probably wouldn't be a whole lot of you left.
It's like I told you before, innit? Reaper's kinda like him upstairs, so he knows what I'm like on the inside. I really ain't done nothing wrong.
Nothing wrong might be stretching a point.
What about Mr. Natsume in Japan? He's perfectly fine, isn't he?
Well, that's true. Perhaps the Reaper is more discerning than I thought.
Exactly. So I ain't worried. I'm totally fine.
I do like the green jacket. The green jacket, I think, is pretty good.
Oh, it was out of this world, it was. The brainy bloke pulled a bunch of levers on his machine, suddenly started billowing smoke. And it just went pop. I ain't seen a better experiment here yet.
Sorry?
You mean you saw it, Ginny, with your own eyes? Yeah, of course. The boss is in charge here, ain't he? Keeping everything running smoothly, I mean.
The boss being Inspector Gregson, I suppose. It's gonna take some getting used to.
So all I have to say is that I'm on duty and can do whatever I want to. Get this, I was up in one of them flying balloons when it happened, watching it from above. Oh, you're so lucky, Ginny. Yeah, I should join Scotland Yard too. Yeah, do it. You know how to put the boss in his place already, right, Iris? You'd have no trouble at all. And it's settled. When do I start?
No. You can't join Scotland Yard, Iris.
We'll see. Anyway, I don't understand what this... What I don't understand is this. If the machine suddenly exploded so spectacularly, how can Professor Bunnybrain still be claiming that his experiment was a success? Oh, right. Well, it was a success, in a way.
It was. What can it have been? Of all the returning characters in the AA games, Gina seems to have a change as powerful as Adrian Andrews. I kind of feel like the top three are Adrian, Kay, and Gina. Yeah. You know what sucks? We will never get a chance to see Gina and Kay interact. That would have been great. The Great Thief and the Pickpocket now Inspector. That would have been a fucking fantastic interaction. I'm actually kind of sad that we'll never see that. Outside of like fan comics and whatnot, right? That would have been a fun interaction on screen. Surely after the whole machine blew up, no one would call the experiment a success.
It's like I said, it did sort of work. I mean, yeah, there was a load of smoke in that whopping great bang. What do you think they found the victim's body? In the Crystal Tower over there.
What? In the tower? Okay, what did she do? I mean, the whole, like, the Great Thief Yatagarasu shit, like, her actually realizing who she is, right? Not so much as a change from, like, it's from this identity to this other identity, right? But I mean, like, it was more so her just being the being like the naive little girl, right? And wanting to do something to actually fucking doing it in Investigations 2, right? Like, I feel like her personality, she matured a lot, right? And I kind of feel like that's the same thing can be said for Gina. She's matured a lot. You can see for yourself, can't you? Up there above the scaffold. Oh, where all the glass is broken, you mean? The cage what with the victim got in to start with. Really did get beamed through the air or whatever and landed all the way over there. So, you see, it kind of did work, didn't it? What? I don't believe it. Who knows, maybe we'll get another Turnabout Time Traveler? Yeah, no, I would love that, right? I would love to see Kay and Gina interact. That would be great. I mean, I don't get the ins and outs of it, but anything's possible, right? With science. Oh, I tell you what, you can have this. It's a plan of the experiment they drew up at the yard. Are you sure? Yeah, go on. I have 3 bob off you, so fair's fair. Yeah, I didn't actually give that to you, did I? Well, first things first, gotta look at all my evidence. Pretty good drawing. It's just a drawing, though. We paid for evidence, no. We were swindled for evidence, no. How dare you? Alright, about the investigation. Something Inspector Gregson said before seemed a little strange. Investigating is off the cards for all of us. Yeah, why is that? Yeah, naughty old Gregsy ran off after that without explaining himself. Oh right, that. Boss said no one's allowed to investigate that weird machine what blew up yesterday. Well, that's not fair. We're representing the defendant. In that case, could you at least tell us what you've learned from your investigations? Oh, you're not getting it. We ain't allowed to investigate neither. Why? What did the boss call him again? The forensic investigation team, I think. Anyway, apart from them lot, no one's allowed to lay a finger on the scene. Bit funny, innit? So even Scotland Yard's own detectives can investigate. I've never heard of something like that before. I thought I could have a gander on the quiet, though, but the boss caught me at it. You probably heard him giving me an earful about it before from down here, didn't ya? It's not bleeding fair. I think you were giving him as much of an earful back as I remember it. Yeah, well, sometimes I think it's all them chips what make him so stubborn. You say something to him, Otto. Go on, see if you can get through to him. He's up on the platform above us, is he? Where the machine that exploded is. We can try, can't we, Runo? Regsy will listen to us. Well, maybe you. What? Oh. Oh. I thought I was gonna be able to turn to my left and look up at, look around? Oh, well. It's weird that it's N and H for these ones. Any hoozle. Ah, it looks as though somebody dropped something behind the tree just here. Dropped or hid? What is this? Some part of the machine that exploded? Maybe it could have fallen from the platform above in the blast, perhaps. What's going on here? Oh, nothing. I think I'll hang on to this just in case. Mysterious contraption? Dog, it looks like a fucking gun. Yeah, this looks like a fucking gun. Or a crossbow of some sort. trebuchet? No, not a trebuchet. That's not the... There's some sort of lever here. Well, now it's a crossbow. What the... What is this? It looks like a cross between a bow and a gun. You can just get rid of, like, these two words here. And maybe the last three here. I think it's probably used for the same thing, too. Crossbow. So it's a folding crossbow. And... Dog, that fucking trigger is massive. Holy shit. That's almost as big as the handhold you have for, like, right here. My god. But folded up, it kind of just looked like a gun. This groove here must be where the arrows are loaded, I suppose. So I was right, it's sort of a bow with an automatic firing mechanism. This would be perfect for someone like me who catches his ear with bowstrings two times out of 3. In fact, if I had one of these, maybe I could have beaten Kazuma in Kyoto archery training. Yeah, keep bringing up Kazuma. I'm gonna be so fucking mad. All right, that's it for the crossbow. Can we go upstairs? These stairs obviously lead to the stage above. We should go up there and investigate the exact spot where the experiment was being conducted. Oh, thank God, I was about to say, don't put me out of fucking dialogue. 22nd of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds Experimentation Stage. Oh, here we go. You're thinking of a Ballisticris, that or an Arbalist? I was thinking of Arbalist, right? Because of how the arms were folded, like a crossbow wouldn't have the arms that close to the, Actually, let me look up what an Arbalist is, right? No, because an Arbalist kind of just looks like a cross. I searched up Arbalist and I'm getting Destiny 2 Arbalist. You guys are fucking sick. And a ballista is just a big crossbow. Hold on, we're about to get to the end of this. You thinking of the ballista from BO2? No, I'm not. I wish I was. We're gonna Google search types of crossbows. From the bowauthority.com? Oh, hi, dog. Got a recurve crossbow, compound crossbow, a repeating crossbow, a rifle crossbow. I meant more like medieval kinds of crossbows. A crossbow on Wikipedia.com. Construction history? Maybe history? Hey, maybe history. No. That got me nothing. Modern use. History of crossbows is an article on Wikipedia? What the fuck? Like I said, we're about to get to the end of this. So, give me a second while I do some fucking research. There's nothing here. Bro, why is Wikipedia ass? Like, this would be good, right? If I was, like, Googling, like, the history of crossbows, right? Like, research on crossbows. A regular crossbow had to be loaded manually, and Arbalist can be loaded relatively quickly. Yeah, I guess, like, a stylized Arbalist then. Because, like, how it looked folded up, right? Like, not like... Yeah, like this, right? To me, right? Like, there would be like a tension here, like the arms are supposed to be this far back, right? And basically what would happen is the string would go from right here to all the way wrap around and come back. So you would still draw it in the same way, the string would just be longer, right? As opposed to the regular crossbow, like, mechanic of, how the fuck? Okay, I opened it like this. Instead of like this, right? So there wouldn't be tension here, right? The tension would be found towards the front, right? Where you would draw from here all the way back, right? That, like, it's a type of crossbow so that it would, like, not take up as much space horizontally, right? That's what I was thinking of. Maybe I'm crazy, right? Also, I kind of find it very interesting that this thing folds up again. Very nice. Anyway. So that's it, is it? The machine that blew up?
Oh, it must have been a magnificent explosion. I've seen my fair share.
You've seen things like this before, you mean?
Of course. Hurley's always doing experiments that end in a bang. In fact, in his own words, explosions are the very essence of chemistry.
That might explain the smell of burning that frequently comes wafting up the stairs.
One time he made something that exploded with such force it took the roof off the building. Wish you'd been there to see it, Runo.
No. I wish I wouldn't, because I would have been in between the explosion and the roof. It's hard to get too excited about that, given that I now live in the roof.
Anyways, that's enough about that. It's time to investigate.
Hey, yo, Gregson! Look, Inspector Gregson is over there. He seems to be deep in thought about something, whilst eyeing up the machine carefully.
Really? He just looks confused to me.
Well, shit. Hey, yo, Gregson! Ripped itself apart magnificently, didn't it?
Magnificently, mercilessly.
Someone stands in the middle of the machine to be disassembled and then beamed through the air.
Yes, beamed, not blasted. That's the point.
Yeah, that part's crucial, really. Is something like that even possible, though, Iris?
Oh, Runo, I'm just a child. How should I know?
Don't do that, and then go, well, actually, because I'll fucking scream, Iris. I will be upset. Don't do that. A child when it suits you, you mean?
From what I can tell, I think if you were to pull this lever here...
Stop! Don't touch that.
Haha, that was practically instantaneous kinesis the way you flew over just now, Gregsy.
Please, your ladyship. Didn't mean to startle you, but can't let you touch anything up here.
Oh, sorry. You can have some of my latest special blend to make up for it.
Wonderful. This stuff really is wonderful. Just like old times, this is. Representing Professor Hairbrain tomorrow in court, Inspector. So we should be allowed to examine the scene. Ah, this in sunshine. Even I'm not allowed to touch anything up here. It's that blasted Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act to blame. Oh yeah, that special dispensation.
Dispensation.
The professor mentioned that too. All red tape's all we need. I know what the government thinks it's playing at sometimes.
But we're allowed to just look, aren't we?
Eh?
Surely that's alright, isn't it, Gregsy?
Look at him. Of course, your ladyship. Anything you say, your ladyship. But please don't get dainty hands dirty, will you?
Don't worry. We wouldn't dream of touching anything, would we, Bruno?
She really knows how to get what she wants. Well, we got him. Well, I wanted to... Oh, fuck. In particular of note... Take it easy, SM. Thanks for coming out. An amazing horn-shaped device is pointing towards the Crystal Tower. I suppose once people are disassembled by the machine, they're shot out of that thing to wherever they're going.
I don't think it was supposed to shoot anything, Bruno. It was set up to beam people to the Crystal Tower. They'd be reconstructed in their original form.
Well, I don't like the look of it. If it was amazing as it looks, the accident wouldn't have happened in the first place, of course.
I suppose that's true, yes.
Nothing ever goes according to plan, doesn't. Chaos theory. But now that we had that one talk with Susato in the legal consultancy, what I'm on the lookout for constantly now, and I'm curious as if I've missed one in the previous game, is I'm on the lookout for what are those things? Shovels or spades, right? Considering that's our ladder and step ladder debate for this game, right? Considering how badly damaged everything is, Professor Hairbrain was lucky to escape unscathed, I'd say. We should have a good look around the machine while we can, I think. Touch anything, and I make sure I kill you before I get strung out myself, you hear? I won't touch a thing, I promise, so please, spare a thought for your digestion. Anyway, you really think this machine could actually disassemble people like the professor claims? Yes, looking totally incredulous. But rest, sunshine. If we were allowed to examine all this bleeding scrap metal, maybe we could answer that question. But we can't, can we?
Because of the annoying rules, you mean?
Exactly, the annoying obstructed flaming rules. Oh. Look at the base of the machine there.
Yes, there's a tool of some kind poking through the wire mesh.
It's a screwdriver, I think. No, I don't think that's so much a screwdriver, because what the fuck is this indentation here? It kind of looks like a funky crossbow bolt.
Isn't it a lovely one? The handle's in the shape of the capital letter A.
It is? Yeah, you're right. What is the matter with you? Don't touch anything, I said. Touch anything and I'll make sure I kill you before I get strung out myself, I said. Yeah, I understand. Sorry.
I only touched it a teeny-weeny bit. Legacy, I'm very curious about this screwdriver. Really very, very curious.
Please fold. Please be a bitch and fold. Of course, your ladyship. You're so clever, your ladyship. Fancy spotting something like this. But I'm afraid I can't let you have it.
But Bruno found it first.
Sure, you all investigated thoroughly. He's gone off with it.
That was very mean. I'm afraid Inspector Gregson is going to make a very clumsy and embarrassing mistake in next month's installment.
Was that a typo on installment? I have to look this. Is that just the British way of spelling installment? Noun, installment. Sum of money due is one of several equal payments for something. No, any of several parts. Okay, so apparently this is just the English spelling of installment. I'm gonna get the British. How are you gonna you're gonna take an L, like color having an O and a U, right? Like that I can forgive. You spelling installment like that, bro, go fuck yourself. What is that gigantic thing over there? It looks like an enormous water wheel. But see, so we need the extra L? Yeah, no, it's not an extra L. Spell install real quick, right? See how you spell it with 2 L's? You don't spell install with 1 L. How do you spell installation? Yeah, you spell it with 2 L's. Basically what I'm saying is I'm gonna go get the fucking British. If I ever get access to a time machine, first order of business is correcting British spelling. And slang for that matter. Fucking, I'm gonna get you niggas. Don't worry. Also, let me take a break so I can eat some pretzels because I haven't eaten pretzels in a minute. But yeah, fucking installment? Like, are you fucking serious? I'll get you. Don't worry. Like the U in color, right? Like, okay. I've never understood the difference between S and C for like practice, right? Or defense, right? Like spelling defense with a C or spelling it with an S, that's whatever, right? I feel like that can go either way. That I can forgive, right? Putting a U in color, I can forgive, right? But this right here, this one is unforgivable. Why the fuck did you remove an L? That one doesn't make any sense to me. Why?
Well, they rotate nice and slowly, so it's a wonderful way to see the surrounding scenery.
Wait, it's turning? But it looks completely still. There's no way you think that, Ryunosuke.
Yeah, that's because it's turning so slowly. One complete revolution takes about half an hour.
Well, that's gonna be relevant. Pretzels be killing me, man. I don't want to talk with my mouth full. If you were mad enough to go in one, it would be more fun to whiz around fast, don't you think?
I feel as though you might have just invented a new sort of ride there, Runa.
Can I have some pretzels? Yeah, come on over. There are all sorts of strange buildings here in the Great Exhibition Grounds, aren't there? I seem to remember something similar being exhibited in Japan one time.
Oh, in your country, Runo. I do wish I could go and see it. I present a particularly steely
Oh, steely samurai? Oh. Is that the chronological first reference?
And see if I couldn't get Hurley into a jam against some Bartitsu Master Ninjas.
You might not find as many of those sorts of people around as you think.
Oh, well that's dull.
Oh, But I do know a prosecutor with a Chanmage top knot I can introduce you to.
Chronicles, really? You think I could have my picture taken with him, do you?
Assuming he's recovered from the trim Cosma gave him a year ago, yeah. Oh yeah, we don't know that that Susato fucked him up too, and he what's the word? Self haircut, not immolate. I was gonna say immolate, but that's completely wrong. Was there anything I missed up here? Maybe the hot air balloons? Yeah, okay. So those are people carrying balloons, dangling silently in the skies over London. I always thought the day would come when humans would discover how to fly. But I never imagined it would involve them being suspended from colorful floating Tamari handballs.
I'm sure it must feel amazing being up there among the clouds. Let's take a ride together, Runo, please.
If I'm being perfectly honest, I would like to try it. But without a cast iron guarantee that the thing won't plummet to the ground, I'm too scared.
Oh well, in that case I should tell you what Hurley said. It's physically impossible for a flying balloon to plummet to the ground, as long as it doesn't explode.
Yeah, call me crazy, but I think that exploding part might play on my mind a little. Okay. I really don't know what else I can look at here. Yeah, he's back. Ferris wheel? I've already talked about the Ferris wheel, or I've investigated the Ferris wheel. Maybe from up here? No. The box? The box has nothing for me. You know what I mean? Unless there's something, Oh. Well, I'll go fuck myself. I'm actually way more hungry than I thought. This is a public service reminder that a handful of Swedish fish is not a good substitute for lunch. I thought Gregson left, to be honest. I thought he went off so we could look at the crime scene. Time for a pretzel burger? A burger sounds pretty good. I might do a burger for dinner. But for now, just pretzels. Honey wheat twists. I've never had fish and chips either, so I think that might be a good thing to try once. Now that that's over. Using high voltage electricity to somehow disassemble a man's body, and then beam him across to the Crystal Tower. It's an extraordinary thing to attempt, especially in public. Ooh, it was by far the most unusual of the experiments planned for the exhibition, mind. To be honest, I'm a bit surprised it was allowed. Carrying out something so dangerous with so many spectators present, I mean. The government's doing everything it can to promote new science and technology at the moment. They're more worried about being ahead of the game than the old sport of public safety infringements. If they can be the first to develop some new technology, it makes Britain more powerful in the future, you see? And I suppose that's true, in a way. The powers that be are placing a heavy emphasis on scientist rights at the moment.
What sort of rights?
They're making it so any theories the brains have remain legal property, as it were, right through developing it into a practical idea and even going into production. So we're looking at the actual invention of patents. Like the actual, like, creation of intellectual property, right? Which is the infuriating reason us coppers aren't allowed to touch this crime scene. Because the new highfalutin Special Dispensation for the Scientific Equipment Act forbids it. I see now. Only people with permission to investigate here are from some brand new department at the yard. The forensic investigation team it calls itself. We've been relegated to keeping guard. The forensic investigation team. Any old fool can see this heap of scrap metal is a sham to begin with. But just because it's his scientific equipment on the paperwork, we can't do a flaming thing with it.
Poor Gregsy, he's very head up, isn't he?
Head up? No. No. That one's not real. Google?
What do you mean?
Also, what do I have pings on Discord for? Huh? Being pinged for Final Fantasy shit. I didn't know what this was for. One of the first patents was for a barge with a crane, 1421. Damn. Also, head up is not real. That's crazy. I think once I finish this, I might just call it or take a break to go get something to eat, because I am starving. These pretzels aren't going to be enough. Remind me again, what's this new legal act that means we're not allowed to touch the scene here? You're having me at it, Sunshine. It's a special dispensation for the Scientific Equipment Act.
Yes, I think Hurley mentioned that recently. A real twinkle in his eyes, as I remember.
Sure he did, your ladyship. I'm sure he did. Passed especially for the great exhibition it was. All scientists have to do is present their ideas or inventions to some suits in the civil service, and it gets rubber stamped for that's a guarantee of rights to maintain the invention's confidentiality. What does that really mean? Think about it. Think of all the world-changing new inventions on display every day at this exhibition. Although a good half of them are a load of cobblers, if you ask me, put forward by shammers like yourself. Rexon, what the fuck? Thanks for that.
Oh, I love how absurd some of the inventions here are. It's all so fun.
It might be fun to you, but a member of the Force has to be present at every single demonstration. Can you imagine, eh? Dang science, that's what I say.
I don't think so. That sounds like my dream job.
Soon think otherwise after spending a day guarding all these shammers' bogus contraptions. But if they're all bogus, how can anyone hope to demonstrate them? There'd be no point. Well, there is a point, sadly. Sorry. Thanks to another of our government's bright ideas. If any theory or invention is deemed to show a potential, the government hands out a research grant. The scientists get funding? Exactly, and that's what they're all after. All these shammers coming from far and wide to clog up Hyde Park. And who has to keep them all safe, eh? Who has to smile politely and welcome them? Welcome them. It's coppers, that's who. So you can see why I say it now, can't you? Hang science, hang it.
Oh, maybe I can see your point.
Apparently, Professor Hairbrain lives and works in Germany now, conducting his research. That's right, came back to Britain especially for the Great Exhibition, as I understand it. Probably after one of the government's research grants. Actually, we learned something else about the professor earlier today. About his time in further education. Turns out he was at university with someone we both know. Lord Van Zeeks. What's that? That's news to me. But if Van Zeeks mans the prosecution, then as the accused, the professor's fate is... There's no way everybody else thinks this, right? Like... Like, nobody, like, especially Gregson, people on the Force should know that this is just fucking hogwash, right? Sealed? Because the Reaper will get him one way or another. Blimey, that man's beyond me. I don't know what goes on in that head of his. Talking of Van Zeeks, this morning's paper ran the story of him being attacked. Read that?
Oh yes, but Mr. Reaper is completely fine. Nothing to worry about.
I mean, his record for death precedes him. Yeah, but I mean, like, you would... Specifically somebody like Gregson, right? Who works so closely with Strongheart, right? Where he gets direct orders from him as well. Would know that that story about Van Zeeks being the Reaper is literally just, hey man, it prevents people from doing big crimes, so let's keep running with it, right? He is the Reaper. Ooh, he's so scared. Ooh. You know, like, you would think that Gregson would be one of the first people to know about that, right? But no, he's just sitting here. Yeah, he's the Reaper, I guess. Whatever. That's right. Glad to hear it. Still, the Reaper, huh? How long is that business gonna keep up, I want? Tell the fucking... The victim of this case and the investor, Mr. Asman. He was another of the Reaper's victims. Or so I heard. Lord Baroque Van Zeeks is a top-class prosecutor. But even he can't always push the right verdict through. Sometimes justice can't win. Yeah, I've heard about jurors being bribed and evidence being falsified. And that's how the notion of the Reaper of the Bailey came about, isn't it? Obviously, Scotland Yard suspected Van Zeeks initially. We all assumed he was taking matters into his own hands and if he failed to seal the deal in court. Although the man himself denies that charge. Well, we've done a very thorough investigation, and the conclusion we reached is that Lord Van Zeeks is in no way related to the deaths of those people outside the courtroom. Fucking idiot. Why would he... No question in my mind. I'd stake my reputation on it. I would. If that's true, then how do you explain it? All those defendants just couldn't have coincidentally died if nobody killed them. I know that, but I can't explain it. It's a mystery after all, isn't it? That's the whole point of the Reaper. Professor Hairbrain mentioned something else. He said that at university, Lord Van Zeeks was a totally different person. Easygoing and kind. In what? He said that it was after they both graduated that something happened and changed the man. Do you have any idea what it was? Well, he clearly knows. Really? Look, I've got my hands full watching over this frustrating crime scene. Why don't you go and make a nuisance of yourself elsewhere, eh? I'm tired of all the damn secrets. I've had enough. Well... Like to examine stairs again? Where do I go? Do I present him something? I'm a little bit confused here. And I don't know if that's just my hunger talking to me. Fucking... This one is super long, too. This one fucking sucks. What's the thing with the white bow on it? That's the microphone that he was speaking into. I can't really do anything with it, though. Am I completely done here? It looks like it. Like, I can't really tell what I'm supposed to be doing, and I can't really tell how I'm supposed to be leaving here. Maybe I present this to him? Well, this is nothing. Go back to the ground floor? Can I do that from here, or do I have to actually, like, move back to the ground floor? Leave and come... Oh, that's really dumb. He's just standing there, menacingly! There we go. I guess I didn't get everything down here, right?
Look, what's this? A piece of cloth.
It's not like any fabric I've ever seen before. It's very thick and stiff. Looks extremely durable.
It's canvas, I think.
Canvas?
With some sort of rubber backing. The edges appear to be a bit charred as well.
That means it had something to do with the explosion.
Make a note of it while Ginny's mid-yawn.
The Crystal Tower. It's certainly an apt name. It was built to be the focal point of the exhibition. It definitely is, being so tall and with all that glass. I can't imagine a building like this ever being erected in Japan.
There are lots of exhibits inside the tower as well, apparently. Of course, there's an observation deck, but there's also an art gallery, a zoo, and a museum. But I heard you have to queue up for 3 hours just to get through the doors.
Well, at the moment, the shattered glass from the failed experiment may well be the biggest draw.
Thanks to that accident, the whole tower is shut.
Certainly, it's not the Crystal Tower anymore, but the Crystal Glass Shower.
Apparently everyone's taking to the skies now to look down on the disaster area from above instead. There's a 3-hour queue to go up in a balloon now.
Londoners must be very patient people. For some reason, the ground is damaged in this spot. Look. Almost as if there was a fire here or something.
And if you look closely, there's some scattered ash and burnt embers, too.
I suppose there was a big explosion just above here. People probably wouldn't bat an eye if a small fire like this would have been.
I'm not sure we English are quite that laid back, Runo. Whoa! That's where the cove ended up after his instant kinesis or whatever they call it. And of course, if they're calling the experiment a success, what's the wooden scaffold there for? Pop was our lads set it up after the incident happened. To get the body down, I think. Don't know, really. Didn't you help to erect the scaffold then? No, lookout duty's more my thing. Wandering around the exhibition and keeping the lookout for the fun stuff. Mind Gregson doesn't hear you saying that or he'll give you the boot. It's incredible though, isn't it? I mean, could the victim really have bridged that gap by some sort of invisible kinesis? There we go, that's everything. Runo, listen! What? What is it? Been thinking. Really might know something, mightn't you? About what? About Mr. Reaper. About what happened to Lord Van Zeeks, you mean? It sounds like something very significant occurred after he graduated from university. Something that completely changed his life. Maybe, but I have no idea where to find Mr. Sholmes at the moment. He's in the middle of some big case, isn't he?
Are we going to a fucking Max? Are we going to a fucking... Is that supposed to be Madame Tussauds? Are we gonna... Is that the thing? What's this? Some kind of entrance ticket? Madame Tussauds. Is this supposed to mean something to me?
You don't know it? It's the most popular attraction in London at the moment. It's very close to Baker Street, actually. We could go now if you like.
No. We don't have time for visiting attractions today, Iris. We have a big trial tomorrow.
But that's where Hurley is.
What? At this popular London attraction?
Yes.
How is it that you know where he is?
Hurley told me, but he told me to keep it a secret from you, Runo.
Madame Tussauds. I don't see how it could be related to the case we're investigating here, but then stranger things have happened. When they happen, Mr. Sholmes is usually at the heart of them. Well, god damn it. It really just is Madame Tussauds. Okay. (22nd October, Madame Tussauds Museum of Waxworks. What is this place? Look at all these terrifying scenes. Why are all the people so still? Guillotines, ruthless murderers. Know what I'll be dreaming about tonight.
All wax models. They're amazingly realistic, aren't they? What do you think, Runo? Shocked?
Wax models? Ugh. I read about dead bodies in wax once in a magazine about strange phenomena. Depending on how corpses are kept after death, parts of them can turn into wax, apparently. It's called adipocare?
Stop talking about creepy things like that, Runo. You're scaring me. Anyways, adipocare doesn't really form readily.
I was reading that. I've just remembered something. Something else I've read in another magazine about strange phenomena. There was an old lady, maybe a witch, who used to pour molten wax over corpses and put them on display.
None of the exhibits here are real.
Ready for one of them to start moving?
They're all entirely man-made replicas.
They can't be. You really expect me to believe that? Just look at them.
Oh.
This guy's definitely real. There's no way anybody can make models of people that are this... And they're all such gruesome scenes. Wait.
What is it?
Oh no. You must be seeing things. It's the great detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Mr. Sholmes has his own wax statue in here? Really?
Well, he is world famous after all.
It's an uncanny resemblance, isn't it? Makes my skin crawl to look at it.
I know. But look, Runo, you can kick this Hurley and he doesn't move a muscle.
Can't go around kicking the exhibits, Iris. Wait. It just moved, I'm sure. Not just a little bit either. And look closely. There are beads of sweat on the face of this waxwork model. Shall we move on, Iris? Over there, look, there's a great murder scene to enjoy. Much more appealing.
Hold it!
My dear fellow, I take exception to your recoiling in such a manner if you've seen something truly abhorrent. Mr. Sholmes! I knew it. Iris, what possessed you? Strictly forbade you from divulging my temporary waxwork secret to Mr. Naruhodo? Temporary waxwork? What do you mean? And that kick. Would you not have exercised a bit more restraint? You winded me.
But Runo has something he needs to ask you.
Ah, a question.
And I thought you'd probably be getting bored, too. So here we are.
Well, I can't deny that your timing was impeccable. A mere 2 minutes more being stationary like that. My great brain, upon which all my success has been built, would have turned to wax. Thank goodness we arrived in time. Indeed, in many ways, the pair of you just saved the world from an unimaginable loss.
Oh, Hurley, you like to talk nonsense, don't you?
You know something, it's true. About Lord Van Zeeks and what happened in the past to change him. Now that you're here, let's take our time. How can I be of assistance? Well, you're in luck. I'm suddenly quite taken with the idea of conversing. Oh, well, actually, I'm in quite a hurry. My eyes don't deceive me. I believe something is afoot within the walls of this very museum. Most fascinating case, if I'm not mistaken. Really? Moreover, I have a strong suspicion that is related to the matter about which you've come to me now. Why, what could it be? We shall speak again presently, my dear fellow, but for now I must return to my work. What, back to being a temporary waxwork exhibit? What is this place? Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand. Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London. There are museums like this in Japan, too. But these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they? The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say. They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine. That sounds grim. Wasn't there a murder movie where the killer traps their victims in wax? What, you mean House of Wax? Ladder? I'll check that ladder. I was under the impression that it wouldn't be ladders, it would be shovels and spades for us, but yeah, I'll check the ladder. Or the step ladder, not the ladder. Gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned.
Apparently the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses. There at the site of the executions.
It really turns my stomach. That's just one of several legends about the Two Spells family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular of the area of the museum, by quite some margin, is this House of Horrors. House of Horrors? Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition, but people usually flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. But they're even stiffer now than the models of them. Have you heard of poor taste? My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked. So, the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is it just me or did the temperature in here just seem to drop? Anyway, I advise you...
Family, son.
Goose with a gift over to C Squared, marking 222 total gifted subs. Thank you very much, Goose, and if you are here, C Squared, I don't know if you are or not, but please be sure to thank Goose for the generosity and welcome to the family. Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he? We can examine the ladder, the step ladder.
Oh, that's a funny place for a little ladder. What is it? Is something wrong?
No, it's just that in Japanese we have a totally different word for a ladder that folds in half like that.
We do in English too, you know. It's a step ladder, or just steps. So be careful of making assumptions about other cultures, Bruno. That's how wars are started.
I didn't realize step ladders were an international point of contention, but the writer makes an astute point. Very nice. I did it to invite a friend to the 14 channel. Oh. Oh. Do they know about having their Discord and Twitch linked? Because they need to do that. Is this an example of Western Sujigiri?
I don't know what that is.
You know, when an unscrupulous samurai randomly attacks a passerby to test his sword?
Still don't know, no. Actually, a waxwork samurai would probably be hugely popular. Do you model it, do you think, Bruno? Doing that Sujigiri thing you mentioned.
Like, through his sword, but I have no intention of testing how sharp it is on a human subject. For now, at least. Rinosuke, what the fuck? What do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes? Whoops. Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act. Catching them? We have an hour. I home in on a different killer in one of these displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll allow them happily to take a photograph with us. Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? What? Why, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money. You really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors. As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent. I have the ravenous iris to consider.
Oh, Hurley, so hungry.
If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo. What's he threatening to roll me into now? So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours. Maybe some other time. Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril. Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then? Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeek's friend, Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust. So I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. Oh, are they doing this so something in the background can change? That'd be pretty cool. About Lord Van Zeek's, about Professor Hairbrain, and about the strange coincidence that they had been at the university together. So I'm wondering what it was that happened to make Lord Van Zeek such a different person.
I'm sure that you know, Hurley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before. Something was afoot. That you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up. And it seems we've reached the unavoidable... Greetings? Is this supposed to be Madame Two Spells? Because she kind of looks like a witch. Ah, hello. Where'd she appear from? What's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious?
I hope you are appreciating my museum.
Of course. Sorry, have we... Mr. Sholmes, you know... Not again.
My apologies. I'm Esmeralda Two Spells. This is my museum of waxwork.
What? You're the Madame Two Spells.
Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add.
Is that significant somehow?
I'm a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi.
Right.
Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Rather, one waxwork in particular.
That'll be Mr. Sholmes then.
I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, there will be toil and trouble. She sounds deadly serious.
That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeek's now?
I forget what Hurley said before. About something being afoot. Right here in the museum, I mean.
I know, but...
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
Haven't we got enough on our plate already? Well, what's going on, lady? Did you make all of these waxworks, Madame Two Spells?
I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know. Gosh! It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Her fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. So that is when she acquired the savoir...
I fucking hate French.
That leads to the astonishing lifelikeness. These waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley. What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of real people in which they are modeled, in the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to extraordinary lifelikeness.
That sounds fucking terrifying.
All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
What's the situation with, that?
Ah, my temporary waxwork model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what the sparse exhibit needs is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Or words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree to terms.
Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services? For a mere £500, we'll dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment.
Or words to that effect.
Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment, due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he?
You'd think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50-shilling problem that must be resolved by this morning.
Or words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well? I wonder, did I ask you something?
Sincere.
I'm just curious. Is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of, incident, perhaps?
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was, your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh! He disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. There you are!
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working?
Do you wish to be melted down? My dear Madame Tuspel, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem which we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you to not involve the police.
Why ever not?
She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. So please be aware that I prefer... No! I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
A logic and reasoning spectacular. In this economy? Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is the two-spell special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, special exhibit in the House of Horrors. You must have picked a serial killer then, I presume? Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? No. There is nothing amiss behind there. Nothing amiss, madam. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens. Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soupçon. I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Suspel's special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And it's somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would be expecting is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however? Wait. That's fucking, That was the foreman from the first, from the McGilded trial, right? From the jury? We never got his name, did we? Well, perhaps then, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself. Afraid not, my dear fellow. He's perfectly ordinary. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact. What? As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime. He looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand. So, Madame Two-Spells, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Yeah! To begin with, we must ask ourselves, what exactly is afoot here in this museum? The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds. That is all my own money. So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Two-Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Herlock, please. Waxwork for sale. Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow, of course? 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of £200. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount of money he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result, the scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret. Waxwork location. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands. Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe. His neckerchief. No. Such is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
Man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards. Why is everyone laying on the floor so rotund in this game? It's just this one, right? Just this game, right? Because, like, because I guess Olive Green was technically from the first game. These games, right? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork. He has a price tag on his fucking scarf. The reaction only confirms my suspicions, madam. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Threepence, a tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks is riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200.
Sholmes, that's the price of the scarf.
The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madam?
Do not.
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon. Why are you like this? Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley. You have. You've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. The notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, dear fellow. According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? Killer policeman, Ottomo. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the aether.
And it turned out to be the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermo.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It's a particularly grim fate, is it not? Face. Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a wax model? Would it be enough to afford at least one of the latest steam carriages, if that put things into perspective? So it is quite a lot, then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down. The bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous.
Some of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less accuse her to her face, so... I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris. If that's alright. Make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's rate deductions.
Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tuspel's vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tuspels, in accordance with our agreement, shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective, temporary exhibit, at work. Oh, it starts off like that. I was like, why is he saying that again? But like, that's the start of the course correction. Here we go. It was her looking towards the display, right? Because she's very clearly not looking down, right? She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for 200 pounds.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway. I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it. That note doing pinned on the wall there.
Oh yeah, let's see. Dear Madame Tuspels, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for a safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October.
What?
This is... It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
It's a ransom note.
Exactly. Well...
Take that!
The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so. And we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness abducting a waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee. They do clearly intend to pay it.
The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have.
In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity to which we are presented. Was the fucking what shocked him to the ground, right? So if the Waxworks was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
You just ask him when he comes round.
He already is round. I'll make that joke again, fuck you. I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yeah, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard, we mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Tuspel's trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. Hey! Hey! Fucking... Well, A, Iris, that's a left hand, and B, no.
This is just Madame Tuspel's right hand, isn't it?
Yeah, must be. I can clearly see your left hand after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well, look.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean... it's made of wax? Well...
Take that!
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. Could you? The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It's the hand of a waxwork model. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage. So you mean that arm?
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
A small keepsake. Taking a whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. The result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. Alright, so now I think it's fucking Sholmes has it backwards. The guy standing up is the waxwork, and the cop is sleeping, right? What immediately strikes this conundrum about this conundrum? Yeah. Is that not his hand? His left hand? Or left arm, rather? According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
Way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
And Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Tuspel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. He's missing an arm, of course.
Take that!
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need to only observe his shoulder stuff. No such boneless human walks the earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded that he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes.
He's become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally. What other explanation could there be? And, well, it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Alright, and yeah, the old man. That guy's just asleep. That guy is just taking a big ass nap. Killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. Ruppets isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garrett's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole? Really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
Oh. And it's tapping. Look at this. The old man's tapping his foot like crazy.
He does seem to be fast asleep, though.
He's not tapping his foot consciously, then? So you mean...
It must be a twitch.
Never mind that. The point is waxworks don't tap their feet.
Or twitch.
Look at his arm, too. We've seen a scarf like that somewhere else around here, haven't we? Alright.
Take that!
The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. Slide shift in your choice of adjectives, then. There you have it. Well, Madame Tussauds.
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place.
He's clearly fatigued. He's sound asleep. Oh, well, that was... wrong. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby recently purchased at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yeah, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So, it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. The Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. The presentation of the deductions parts goes up a level for game 2. Yeah, I think they've, or rather, this one in specific. Like, I didn't really notice it for the one in Shamspeare's apartment, right? But at least for this one, like, Ryunosuke going like, hey, yeah, why the fuck did you say that other thing, you idiot? Like, that was super good.
All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, do not take it lightly. Anyway... Great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
It was a pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified that you enjoy the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I have no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display, if it was indeed genuinely abducting.
Yes, tragically it was.
And I would ask you to recount the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after all I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
Holes on him? Yeah. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that a waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. This is your most prominent display, so that's why the curtains were closed. I found the ransom note in its place.
The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then.
But this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose. Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. A killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor.
Wait, ain't that the nigga that be dunking on people? Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Norohodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry?
The Professor case just happened around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital.
No. No, not the Professor. Oh, no.
And you guys never found him, huh? And he kind of escaped the city, huh? And he was a professor, huh? Yes, and exactly the time that Baroque Van Zieks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying.
Well, the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
As you've surmised, it was the professor case. Who was this professor, then?
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
Now he's immortalized here on wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. Also, isn't that the watchword that McGill had used for getting his things back? Yeah, he did use Professor. How is this related to Lord Van Zieks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the Professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the Professor were some of the highest members of British aristocracy. Members of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... wait! Of course! What Professor Harebrained said! Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh gosh.
It was the 5th victim that led to the Professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... Clint Van Zieks. Yeah. No! I don't believe it! Van Zieks? Sure, you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Baroque pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually became the Reaper we know today. I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter. For the time being, at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit. The picture at Baroque's office is that of Clint. Yeah, I figured as much. Because that's why Iris, like, made the specific note that that wasn't, it looked like it was too handsome to be Baroque Van Zieks, right? You know? So I was like, oh, that's like his brother, right? So, but that doesn't make sense then, because I'm already under the opinion that his apprentice isn't his brother. I thought it for a little bit, but what they're presenting to me makes me think that I know the identity of that apprentice. Oh yeah, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. We're gonna get a TBC? Feels like it. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming here to... Wait. This isn't Ryunosuke. Hey! It's been too long. It really has. I'm delighted to see you, Baroque. It's been 10 years, and here we are meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself to what happened to Mr. Hasman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow the court will decide. Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. Just warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Rook, are you really... What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interest in heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anyone else. Of course. I fairly understand. Thank you, Baroque. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. Won't spoil, already finished the game, just a character design question. But do you think the gizmos on Sholmes, he would have the classic Sherlock look? Without the gizmos. I don't know. I feel like he, or the thought of Sherlock Holmes is that he is this, like almost mad scientist-esque inventor, right? He's kind of on, like, the cutting edge of weird and wacky shit. And his hat, right? I feel like those are like his two signifying features visually, right? So he has to have something on him that, aside from the hat, makes him at least on standing, right? Like, you look at him and you're like, that's Sherlock Holmes, right? And obviously one of his talking sprites is him with his not corncob pipe, but his pipe, right? His smoking pipe. So usually, and this is kind of like what was that TV show? It was Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century, right? Where it was his three telltale traits are the hat, the pipe, and the magnifying glass, because he's a detective, right? So like those are his three, right? I feel like magnifying glass kind of gets thrown out. Like it's more of a caricature-esque representation of Sherlock Holmes, but definitely the hat and just some sort of like gadgetry on him, right? As Batman has his utility belt with a lot of shit in it, Sherlock Holmes, I feel, is a character that also would have something of that nature, right? Especially in like somewhat modern portrayals of him. He's not exactly an inventor, like to a T, one would say, but he's definitely somebody who would have inventions, right? So I feel like the almost borderline steampunk-esque portrayal that they give him in this game is very, very very, very close to what it should be, right? I feel like if I had no knowledge of this game, right, and I had never seen anything of it, and you showed me a picture of Herlock from this game, I would be like, that's Sherlock Holmes, right? I would have been like, yeah, that's definitely Sherlock Holmes. You know, so that's I feel like without all of those weird gizmos on him, it definitely detracts from what your average layperson would think Sherlock Holmes is, right? But I don't know. I feel like how this game has designed him is very, it's very easy for anybody to pick him out of a crowd and be like Sherlock, right? It's a fun portrayal, and if you don't like it, Iris writes it more competently. Yeah, and I think that that everything that we've seen. Also, by the way, in case you were wondering if we're going to continue, we're going to stop here for today. But I think this is a we're just having a little fun conversation. Um, but I think I can see why, and I said this during the first game. I can see why, even though I don't 100% agree with it. I understand and I see why the Conan Doyle estate would have been like, yeah, we don't want you calling that guy Sherlock Holmes, right? Because he's kind of written a little bit more comically, I will say, in this game, or in these two games, right? He's kind of like a, not so much bumbling as he is just kind of just goofy, right? Which, if you're a fan of that, it's probably super cool. But if you have this idea of Sherlock Holmes is only he is only a great detective that doesn't play around. He always gets to the bottom of the case instantaneously upon being on the crime scene for 5 minutes. Anything else is just an unfortunate circumstance that he didn't have enough information. He is always right. He can't be wrong. If he's wrong, it's because he thought he was right, and he'll end up being right in the future, right? Like, you want Sherlock Holmes to be this perfect, like, paragon of deduction, right? And this game very clearly does not treat him like that, which I actually very much appreciate. I really do like that this game's version of Sherlock Holmes is a little bit of a goofy guy. I like him. I think he is a very fun character. So, even though I do appreciate, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do, I've heard from the people that have played this game and have finished it before that I have, the people that have interacted and fully understood what Sherlock Holmes is in this game, right? They love him, you know? I don't think anybody dislikes him, but if you want him to be this untouched, right, like non-besmirched name, I can see why the Conan Doyle estate was just like, no. So even still, our Herlock Sholmes here is super great. I like him. But with that said, I think this is where we're going to stop for today. I'm going to go ahead and do another save. Going on to trial tomorrow. But that's going to do it for me. For the time being, though, I'd like to thank you all very much for coming out. I do want to give a shout out before we take off, though, over to Goose for giving a gift over to C Squared. And of course, all of you guys for coming out tonight. Sorry about the little breaks that I had to take to eat some pretzels. I'm still very hungry. I'm going to look for something to eat. Probably going to do a burger or something, order. But tomorrow we'll be moving into the trial for this. I don't know, actually, if this trial is going to be, we're in the courtroom and then it goes all the way to the end, right? But given how the previous case was, it was like typical Ace Attorney. We were in the courtroom, we didn't have enough evidence, and then we went to do another investigation. So hopefully we return to that and we do have another investigation day, because I find like that's super fun. There is a second investigation day. Keep playing to find out. Looks like I don't have to keep playing at all. I found out. But yeah, we'll be checking out the first part of the trial tomorrow, and assumably getting more investigation, because I feel like going into this trial we didn't have a lot of evidence. Like, our court record is kind of barren. We really only got that tarp, the crossbow, and the drawing of the area from Scotland Yard. That's really all we have, and the newspaper. But I mean, that's like referring to Baroque Van Zeek's attack mainly. You know what? Actually, hold on. Before we no. I was gonna take a look. I'll take a look tomorrow. But I was gonna take a look at that newspaper because I realized that I've never examined the front of it. The game kind of led me to only examine the back, so that's actually a pretty interesting thing to think about. But tomorrow we will be back. We will be doing the trial. I'll be checking everything out there, and hopefully we'll be making it a decent way into this case, because I'm actually really enjoying how the story is presenting itself thus far. A lot of the loose threads that were kind of scattered all over the place are kind of coming together. But with that being said, once again, thank you all very much for coming out. I'll catch you guys tomorrow, but until then, you guys take it easy. Peace.